I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
Damn straight. At least that should be how Democrats respond nowadays to a call to arms. And not to literally hurt people, obviously, but to team up and fight back against injustice. And my favorite unemployed Democrat, Beto O'Rourke, is indeed putting out a call to arms that some are saying is incendiary. And after you hear those comments and see the legal battle that he's fighting right now in Texas, you better respond by saying, whose car are we going to take? So hit subscribe to Really American Media and grab those car keys because the 2026 midterm elections are just over a year away and we need to get ready. So Beto was being interviewed at the Netroots Nation event in New Orleans 2 nights ago. And apparently somebody put a fully charged battery in the guy because he was all charged up.
We have watched the open display of a criminal network operating in the highest positions of power and public trust. They are scared because they have assumed that there will never be accountability. Remember, Donald Trump promised us he would be a dictator on day one. He promised us that if you vote in the 2024 elections, that's the last time you'll ever have to cast a ballot.
Yeah, he's right. And apparently Donald Trump did keep at least that one campaign promise he made, and we're all seeing it unfold in real time, and it's frightening. If you haven't figured out that our democracy is on life support and that we're living under a dictatorship, you need to pay extra close attention to everything that Beto is saying.
It took Hitler just 53 days to destroy German democracy. At every major turn, every time he exceeded his authority, defied the German Constitution, broke down the rule of law in that country, the German press, the German politicians, the German public, most importantly, did too little, too late.
Yeah, indeed. As a kid learning about history, I always wondered how Hitler was able to convince Germans to go along with his batshit crazy plans. And it wasn't until the last 6 months that I now get it, because I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and yeah, it's scary. And I know that MAGA world is sick of the Trump-Hitler comparisons, and to that I say, stop making that comparison so easy and obvious. I know, not all MAGA types are white supremacists, but you're on the same team as them. So ponder that as you dream tonight, because it is time to wake up.
So first things first, stop this power grab. Second, win political power in the House. And third, to Brian's question, use that ruthlessly. So that means we investigate everything that I just described. We bring the facts to light. And even if, should the president defy us, and should the courts, a co-equal branch of government, which might be our last recourse, but we cannot hold our breath because we have a Supreme Court that is now the best that money can buy in American history. It will have to be the people. It will have to be the people rising up.
Yeah, spot on. Change has never happened in this country without people rising up. It's what MAGA did in 2016 and again in 2024, and it's working out pretty well for them. But the pendulum swings both ways, and it's time to give it a shove in the other direction.
Abraham Lincoln, no lesser authority than that man. 1858, he says, look, you have the power of the presidency, the courts, the legislatures. But more powerful than all that is the power of the people. Public sentiment is what he called it. He said, with it, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed.
Yeah, very true words from Abraham Lincoln. And yeah, I know Lincoln was a Republican. But back then, Republicans were the liberals and the Democrats were the idiots. Conservatives. So don't ever fall for that right-wing talking point that, hey, Republicans were the ones that freed the slaves. Liberals did that. And it's time for another revolution led by the progressives of our great nation.
John Lewis, 24 years old, 1965. We just heard a reference to it a second ago. He alone and those who joined him on that bridge and the thousands more who took to the State House steps, wrote their members of Congress, lit up the switchboard at the White House, they were the ones who gave Lyndon Baines Johnson the power he needed to change our laws so that everyone, regardless of race or gender or country of national origin, could participate in our politics.
Yeah, there's power in numbers, and Democrats have to stop playing nice. I love Obama, truly, but the philosophy of when they go low, we go high simply does not work when you're fighting an authoritarian. The high road just leads to a cliff that we're all driving off right now, and the crash is going to kill us and kill our democracy. But it is not too late to turn around. We have seen negative public sentiment affect Trump before. After all, the guy's a narcissist, and he hates it when his poll numbers show how unliked he is.
2018, when we had family separation under the first Trump term, you and I rose up and said, hey, we are not down with taking a baby from the arms of her mother after they crossed 2,000 miles of this continent, seeking salvation and refuge in a country comprised of refugees and immigrants from the world over. We forced, through public sentiment, Donald Trump to rescind that zero tolerance family separation order. It is perhaps the last best power we have for the last best hope of Earth.
Yeah, and that's not hyperbole. Trump is inspiring dictators all over the world. He's screwing up the global economy and has made America a laughingstock abroad. Other countries, they don't look up to us anymore. They look at us and assume that none of us read a history book on World War II.
So, if Democrats win that power, will lead the way, expose this corruption, this criminal enterprise being run in the White House, I think the American people will rise up and claim that power that is rightfully ours.
Yeah, truly inspiring words. And you can tell that Beto is scaring MAGA world because they're lashing out at him right now. Here's a woman who is a classic example of those that vote against their own best interest. This is Valentina Gomez. She is a Latina immigrant and avid MAGA supporter who ran for Secretary of State in Missouri in 2024 and managed to finish a distant 5th in that race and is now threatening to run for Congress next. She showed up at a Beto event in Texas last night and did this.
Beto.
To despair. Just look at
Beto, you almost killed multiple people while driving under the
Just look at this unfortunate soul.
Yeah, don't let the door hit you on the way out. But don't try too hard. Maybe it'll smack some sense into you. Metaphorically speaking, of course. And the pushback in the Lone Star State, it doesn't stop with crazy people in the crowd.
Breaking news from Austin. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and former Congressman Beto O'Rourke have filed lawsuits against one another. Paxton says O'Rourke's organization, Powered by People, unlawfully raised money to help Democratic lawmakers flee the state to avoid a vote on redistricting. He claims some of the fundraising included intentionally misleading donors. Just moments ago, Beto O'Rourke also announced on social media that he is suing Ken Paxton. He says he's, quote, taking the fight directly to him.
Yeah, as Beto is trying to stop his state from helping Trump to rig the midterm elections next year, he's getting sued by their AG. Now, isn't it funny how MAGA types claim that the courts are rigged, yet they run right to them when they feel the power slipping from their grasp? But you're not going to silence Beto that easily, and we should all be taking notes.
I was sued by Ken Paxton not once, but twice this week. He tried to stop us from holding this rally here today in Fort Worth. He tried to stop us from raising money to support these Democrats in the fight. He lost. And one of the worst things that we could do to Ken Paxton is to right now choose to donate to have the backs of these fighters, and we are not going to let him stop us. Are you with me on that?
Yeah, Beto, we're with you. So, whose car are we going to take? Like this video, comment below, and get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.